Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. What's up? How we doing? It's another week of horror movies, which are my favorite kind of weeks. I just want more horror news one day after the other. Keep it coming, keep it rolling. That's what Jake is all about. How we doing? It's Monday, I know. Just got done with the weekend, that fucking sucks. But only 4 more days now, right? 4 more days until the next weekend. And you can wear a Hawaiian shirt with me to feel like you're on vacation right now, which is the best part. It's summertime, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are, it's probably a little more pretty. I know it is here in Ohio, which is disgusting usually, but this is the one time of year, like May through about like August. Well, actually the fall time is pretty cool here too, but summertime's my favorite in Ohio. I love it. The wintertime though, not so much. Dawson, how we doing, Dawson's Creek? Dawson is like 9 times out of 10. Top spot here, which I think is nuts. He's usually got the first comment 9 times out of 10. I love it. I love to see it, Dawson. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having the fish in your profile picture. I dig it. What do you think the horrific scene is going to be in Terrifier 3? I did a hike today, so I'm still out of breath. Apologies. I'm a YouTuber. I sit down all day. What do I think the horrific scene is going to be in Terrifier 3? I think that, what are we, 2 minutes into the video now? Can I say this? I think that little girl's getting chopped up, dude. Like, as much as people think that's the most controversial thing they've ever seen in their lives, even though back in 2017 we saw that in It Chapter, what the fuck was it? It Chapter 1? One of the most popular horror movies of all time. We saw that just a couple years ago, my friend. I think it's coming. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be fucked up. It's going to be awful, horrifying, but it's probably happening. It would be my guess. I don't think Damien Leone would tease that in the teaser and then just not have it happen, but we'll see. Would it be fucked up for me to say that I'm excited to see that? Probably. But I want to see Terrifier 3 push boundaries, man. I mean, if it doesn't, it's going to be a little disappointing. You know, I think there's one side of that coin's a little more disappointing than the other, personally. But we'll just have to see. Maybe I'm just sick in the head. That's probably what some of you are thinking right now, and that's okay. XZ Sean XZ. What's up, Sean? How you doing? I can't wait for Terrifier 3. Me too, my friend. I'm hyped. Can't wait. Paul is not watching Scream 7, can't support Spyglass, and for me, 8 feels like everything was tied up nicely with how 6 ended. Hey, fair enough, Paul. That's all good. You don't gotta watch it. No one's forcing you to do so. Welcome in, welcome in. Sorry I'm cursed to saying ciao. What's up, my friend? How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. RJ Skarenki is saying, let's talk some Scream 7 in The Strangers Chapter 1. Coming this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a big new horror movie this week. Oh, The Strangers Chapter 1. Am I excited for this movie? I am, but I'm scared. I'm a scared little fella. I don't know why, but that music's really bugging me today. I'm gonna turn it down just a little more. There we go. Now we're gonna get into ASMR mode. Ugh. I'm gonna grunt into the mic, very sexually. No, I'm kidding. RJ Skarenki saying Scream 7 as well. I'm excited for Scream 7. Unfortunately, there's just not a whole lot to talk about yet. You know, we need some more updates, right? We need some casting updates. We need some release dates. We need some locations. We don't got really none of that. We just got some rumors floating around, and that's cool and all, but it's not really confirmed. Anybody on Twitter and their mama could just be making that up, you know, and just throwing it out into the world. I need some concrete evidence, something. Like, will Gale Weathers join the cast? Not confirmed yet. People are talking about it, and it'll probably happen, but no confirmation yet, my friends. But Strangers Chapter 1, very excited for this. Probably the hottest commodity, one might say, in the horror genre at the moment. Very big release this week. It's kicking off a whole trilogy, so this better be good. You know, the studio's really relying on this one to be good as well. So we'll just have to see come Thursday, Friday. Or if you're going to see the mystery movie tonight, you might see it. I don't know. Not 100% sure if that's what the mystery movie is or not. I'm not seeing it, unfortunately. I was going to, but I completely forgot that was tonight. There's a mystery movie next Monday, though, and Jake might be doing that. As much as I love streaming with all y'all, I am excited to see. I love mystery. I love mysteries. I love movies. You put those two things together. How can I miss that? Come on now. Yurdy G is saying I'm sadly gonna miss this stream because I've got a video shoot for the Rock Project, but kill it as always, my bro. Thank you so much, Mr. Yurt, Mr. G, one might say. Thank you so much for hanging out for the short time that you had. It's all good. I understand you're busy. Trust me, I know the feeling. Mary Penna is saying, holy crap about A Quiet Place Day 1, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Furiosa, The Watchers. It's a whole bunch of movies. You know, I want to cover A Quiet Place day one, I do, but every time I talk about the Quiet Place franchise, no one really gives a shit. So that's kind of why I'm not talking about it. And you know, it's not that I dislike these movies. I'm not like the biggest fan of them, but I would talk about them. I got some theories regarding like the upcoming films in that franchise. I do. Which I would be interested in talking about, but I guess I'm not like the biggest fan. I'm not like losing my mind about Quiet Place Day One. I know, I know we do have a lot of people out there that do love these movies, and I am going to see it. Tell you what, I'm probably going to do a review, but I don't know if I go any further than that. Evan is with us tonight. What's up, man? How you doing? Evan is most likely watching us from work. I greatly appreciate you, my dude. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you, thank you. Got to get you on a stream at some point, talking about some crazy horror movie. I don't know what yet, but something. All Media Alchemy is saying we are live. Hell yeah, we are. The best time to be alive is live. Live from Cleveland, Ohio is some greasy guy in a Hawaiian shirt. What's up, All Media Alchemy? Welcome in, man. Ella, thanks for being a channel member. Appreciate your support. Damn, I'm early as fuck. I love to see it. I love to see people coming in early. We got 40-some people in here. Only 7 minutes in. Love to see it. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Who have I not talked to yet? Garrett Peck. What's up, dog? How you doing? Ads just starting. That's not too early. I guess I'm behind on the chat. But welcome in, man. Appreciate you. Trayvon King is saying, thank you, Jesus. All right. Hell yeah, dog. Caitlin Jewell is saying, hi, Jake. How's it going? It's going. It is absolutely going, Caitlin. I'm having a fun day. Put out a 15-minute long video today. If you guys have not seen it, go check it out. I talked a little bit about a lot of the biggest horror news in the past couple of days. We're getting a Poppy Playtime movie. Talked a little bit about Kevin Williamson. Dropping some details about Crystal Lake. Whoo! A little passive aggressive from old Kevin Willies. I thought that was interesting. He dropped some really interesting stuff that I guess we're no longer seeing in the Crystal Lake series. I went on a little bit of a rant about that. Very sad we're not seeing it, but I also feel as if maybe A24 made the right decision, which, that might be a hot take. Some people might be like, no, I want to see Pamela's backstory. I do too. But what, is every Friday fan clamoring to see Pamela's backstory? I don't know. And I think A24 realizes that too. As good as I'm sure that show was going to be, I don't know if it was the right move right out the gate to reintroduce the Friday franchise to the younger generation. But hey, we'll just have to see what they end up doing. Whatever it is, I hope it's good, and I hope it does grab that audience, brings them all back. And it's like, let's go. Super excited. Scott Walker is saying, Jake, how are you today? I'm fantastic. What'd you think of the best reveal for Stu to reveal himself as the Ghostface cult leader? Scott, I love it. I love the energy, man. I have gotten a bunch of complaints recently from people saying that every time Stu gets brought up, you say the same shit. So apologies. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You guys know my opinion about Stu. It's just not changing. I'm so sorry, my friend. If it does happen, then we'll definitely be talking about it. I'll tell you what. But as of right now, I don't know. You know, I'm just not. You guys know my take on it. I'm not going to go through that whole rant again. Slashing it with Matt. Yo, what's up, dude? How you doing? What's up? It's been a minute. And look at that. Matt's even throwing in a little super chat, which I appreciate. I'm going to get to that in just 2 seconds here. Because we also got Mr. Rick, who's been a member for a little over a year. A year and a month. Holy crap, Mr. Rick. Thank you for the support. What if there is more than one group of strangers? Ooh. That's not a bad theory, Mr. Rick. Excuse me. I don't hate that at all, if I'm being honest. That's actually kind of interesting and would explain some of the weird shit going on in the trailer. A lot of us have been wondering what is going on with Dollface having a beanie. You know, she usually has this iconic long, one might even say luscious blonde hair. And we're not seeing that from old Dollface. So what's going on there? Is this not the same Dolly face that we're used to? Is this somebody else, perhaps? Because as you may or may not know, I might be spoiling this for you, but this is a movie that came out 8 years ago now? 2016? Was it 2016, 2018? I can't remember. It's been a couple of years, though, I guess is my point. Since Strangers Pray at Night came out, well, at the end of that film, most of our strangers die, or do they? It's kind of one of those, you know? It's like, ooh, did they all die? Did they not all die? What's going on there? Point being, though, we're seeing all these strangers again in this new trailer for Strangers Chapter 1. Many are speculating that maybe it's a prequel, maybe it's some kind of weird continuation where maybe Pray at Night never happened, or maybe the original Strangers takes place somewhere in between all of this bullshit. A lot of theories going around right now. This is one I have yet to hear, though. The idea that there are multiple strangers, multiple people dressing up with these masks going around and invading homes, killing people. It's interesting nonetheless. I don't hate it. I don't hate this theory at all, Mr. Rick. I vibe with it. Like I said, I've yet to hear this one. This is at least an original in my book, in my headcanon. I wouldn't be against that. There's a lot of explaining to do, if that's the route we go. I will say, I feel like after chapter 1, we're not going to have a very clear picture as to where they're going in chapters 2 and 3. That's my guess as of right now. I have a feeling that this is going to be a very familiar film. Once again, getting the fans back on board, like I've been talking about with Friday the 13th. You kind of got to do that with your first entry, get that out of the way, and then bam, we're moving on to the next thing, into the meat of the idea. We got to get through that first layer of bread. You know what I mean? This familiar piece of bread. Okay, cool. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes in the middle. I don't know who's eating a meat and potato sandwich, but you get my point. So I think something like this could be the case. I'd be very into it. I love the idea of an evolution of the idea, make it something bigger if you can, without muddying the source material. So I vibe with that, Mr. Rick. I'm not against that at all. Thank you so much for being a member for 13 months on Monday the 13th. And we're talking about Crystal Lake. Too many 13s. It's an unlucky stream, Mr. Rick. But I love it nonetheless, man. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. And as always, I love your profile picture. Hell yeah, dog. Slashing It with Matt is throwing $10 out there. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you, thank you. I've been MIA for a while, just got back from a cruise to the Bahamas. Oh my God. Matt, that's awesome. Take me with you next time. Ready to get back into the horror realm? Let's go. Keep it up, Jake, on the continued success. You deserve it, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you and your support. I hope you had an excellent vacation as well. That is so fucking cool, man. You went to the Bahamas. I've never been. I've never left continental United States, which is such a shame. I hope to change that soon, though. I want to go see the rest of the world, you know? So I hope you had so much fun. Oh my God, that is so cool. Sounds like an absolute fantastic vacation. Hope you had a great time. Welcome back, Matt. I hope you're having fun hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for the 10. I really appreciate the support for the channel. And feel free to hang out, man. Talk a little horror. Throw out whatever you want to throw out, man. There's a lot to talk about this week. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for news, so we have a lot to talk about for sure. Also, props, throwing $5 out there. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Can I send you a Halloween 2018 prop from my business, the Ray Kill wind chimes? What? Like, is this from the movie? Like the wind chimes where Ray gets killed? I'm so curious. Yes, absolutely. Oso props. You don't even have, you threw in $5 just to ask me that. That's so cool. Thank you, my friend. Absolutely. I have a it's not a PO box, but it's a place you can send me stuff that I will get it. It's all in my, it's in my like about section of this page. If you go there, it's all there. It's a little address in Akron, Ohio. I'll get it at some point, dude. If you send it there, I'll show it off on the channel and all that. I'll shout out your business and all that stuff. I love the name Oso Props too. Reminds me of the old pop company, which I don't know why I'm thinking of that off the top of my head, but there we go. That's where the brain is going. Yeah, hell yeah, dog. That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the $5. Thank you for the offer as well. That's so kind. I will absolutely talk about it on the page, man. Next time I go live, when I get it, we'll fucking talk about it, man. So thank you for the 5. Appreciate you. Thanks for the support. Would love to see this. Would love to see what that's all about. Very cool, very cool. Who else is hanging out with us tonight? Little Zay Zay. I love the profile picture. I low-key am excited for the Pooniverse. Not Poo Universe, it's the Pooniverse. What a title, right? Dude, I'm excited for it too, man. I had a blast with Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. Fucking hilarious. Very silly stuff going on there. So I'm excited to see what they do with the next one, which is Bambi the Reckoning, coming out later this year. We're also getting Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which is currently filming right now. We should see it towards the end of the year. As Reese Frake Waterfield told old Jake here, I hate to be so full of myself, but I did get that scoop from Mr. Waterfield himself. So, very cool stuff. I'm excited. I'm excited to see all of it. Can't wait to see what they do. Garrett saying, I just heard Scott Derrickson is looking to remake Night of the Hunter. I'm wondering if it will be a period piece or if they'll try to update it to modern times. I don't think I've seen that, Night of the Hunter. I'm always down for more Scott Derrickson horror flicks, though. I'll tell you what, I love me some Scott Derrickson movies. He rarely misses. Dude's got an epic catalog under his belt already. I can't wait to see what's next. CM Chunk, what's up, Chunk? How's it going? What if The Strangers is a cult and Stu is there? Dear God. Moving on. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love it. I like the cult idea. Stu? I don't know. I don't know, dog. I'm just messing with you. Scott, we weren't able to get to your message earlier, so let's talk about this. What do you think the idea of a horror movie version of Peter Pan? I think it'll be pretty interesting to see the boy who never grew up as a serial killer. I'm very excited for it. I'm really excited to see what Jagged Edge's take is going to be on it, as well as Scott Chambers, the director of the film. I'm excited to see what they're able to do with it. I think it's going to be fun. I really do. I'm excited. Nonetheless, I don't know. I'm really not. I have no expectations one way or the other. I think it's just going to be fun, goofy horror, blood and guts kind of vibes. I do hope, if I have one request for all of the Poohniverse movies, is that they all don't just feel the same. They don't just feel like the Winnie the Pooh movies. They feel like here is those iconic characters. We're going to give them a little backstory, but it is going to be about the blood, the guts, the kills, the killers themselves too. I hope that they're able to find a way to differentiate all of the killers, make them their own characters through completely different stories, if that's possible. They are pumping these things out pretty fast, so I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But I'm hoping they're able to find some characterizations for everybody and make them a little different. For sure. I've heard some stuff through the grapevine. I can't say too much, but it's looking good. It's looking pretty bright, man. I like some of the ideas that are being tossed around there. That's all I'm gonna say. My chunky Jordy's with us. Hi. Hello. Welcome. The Russie is here with us, saying, I hope the new Strangers has the vibe of the sequel. You're not really a fan of the original. Well, for me, as a fan of both, I fear that this one is going to feel a lot like the sequel, but like in a more style. It's going to have a little more of that style to it, stylistic, rather than like the voyeurism of the first movie, where it's like kind of the strangers looking in through the windows, being all creepy like, and then killing our main characters. I feel like it is going to feel a little more like Prey at Night, which I know some fans are not crazy about. But we'll just have to see, man. I hope it is actually a little scary. Like Prey at Night, while it is a little more stylistic, I don't think it's as scary as the original film. I do think that it has its moments, though. Like, there are a few sequences in that where I'm like, oh shit, this is getting crazy. It gets intense. I wouldn't say Prey at Night is like the most terrifying thing I've ever seen, but it's got its moments. It's got like its intense moments. Some nice little jump scares in there too. I'm hoping that this new sequel coming up is able to get to that too. Oh, so Props is saying it's a replica set. And they're doing it. They're sending it. Gotcha. I look forward to it, my dude. Thank you so much. I can't wait. That's going to be so cool. Appreciate you a whole bunch. Orion is saying 2024 is going to be such a good year for horror. I think so. Kind of a rough start. Not going to lie. First couple of months of this year were rough with Imaginary Night Swim, Founders Day. Yikes. But I think we're off to a pretty good start now. We've had a few movies where I'm like, these are some bangers, man. Infested, Immaculate. What was the other one? Late Night with the Devil, I thought was really good. Those have been like the three standouts for me so far. I'm excited to see what else comes from this year. So some good stuff so far. Strangers Chapter 1, hoping to add that to the list of more good movies. But we'll just have to see. It's been, I would say, more misses than hits so far in 2024, but I think that's going to change over the summer here. We just got a new trailer for Long Legs, which that's a movie that looks so good. Very creepy, very fucked up looking. And Jake likes that a whole bunch. Cuckoo looks fucking awesome. In a Violent Nature, just a couple of weeks on that one. Lots of good stuff coming. I'm excited. My Chunky Jordy has been a member for 11 months. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the support. I have a film for you. You must watch. Read chat. I'll be looking out for it. Here we go. I demand, if you haven't seen it, please watch Monster Man from 2003. Nobody ever talks about it. It's such a fun film. Love being a member and love all your content. Thank you, my Chunky Jordy. Appreciate the support, my friend. Monster Man from 2003. Now, this is a film I've never even heard of before. I've never heard anybody even talk about it. Crazy. It's a 2003 film, too, so it's a little more recent. You think that you'd hear somebody saying, oh, that Monster Man. What an underrated movie. 2003? Okay, here, it's popping up. Monster Man is described as pals Adam and Harley take a break from their road trip and stop at a country bar. Harley accidentally mocks the locals, and as the two leave, they're chased by a freakish man in a monster truck. Oh, shit. The buddies drive for their lives, but make time to pick up cute hitcher Sarah. As the crazed driver runs down whoever gets in his way, the three seek refuge in a backwoods diner. Unfortunately, it serves human flesh, and the madness and gore continue. This sounds insane. They stopped at the wrong fucking place, is what I'm getting from this so far. But interesting. Okay. I like movies that are chaotic, though, that just like they start, they get going, and they don't stop. I'm all about that, my chunky Jordy. I'll have to watch that. It sounds a lot like Joyride, too. I love Joyride. Joyride rocks. It's a very good movie. Locked is also a member. Thank you for your support. Just got to chat. Watched both Strangers earlier. Honestly, love both films. I think the first is more well structured, while the second is just so 80s. Love it. Thoughts on Christine? So Locked, I totally feel you there. I think I like the first Strangers a little more, but I love the sequel. The sequel is a blast. It's so much fun. A different movie than the first film for sure. But, you know, I'm not always looking for the same thing every single time. You guys know that about me. I like when movies are able to find different things and then like do something, you know, find a way to make it different and then still make it so good. That's how I look at both the Strangers films so far. Hoping that chapter 1 keeps that consistent. Don't give us something we've already seen. Give us something new. Give us a new vision. And thoughts on Christine? I love Christine. I think Christine's an amazing movie. Which I guess like my love for Christine is why I guess I'm not the biggest Halloween Ends fan. You know, I love Christine. I think it's such a great like original horror film. It is, you know, based on a Stephen King book, of course, but it's done very well. It's one of the more underrated John Carpenter flicks. That in The Fog, I just are so good, and I feel like they don't get talked about nearly as enough as they should. Both have excellent scores. Both have like just excellent performances. Oh, I love Christine. It's great. If you like Halloween Ends and you haven't seen Christine, you're missing out, dog. Like, watch Christine. It's so good. It's the original Corey Cunningham right there, but with a car instead of Michael Myers, and it's pretty fucking cool. So I'm all about Christine. It's one of my favorites from John Carpenter for sure. But I also more prefer his horror movies, like Escape from New York. I fucking love. Don't get me wrong. But there are some of his non-horror movies that I'm just not as crazy about. Like, it's not that I'm like, it's not that they're bad. I like mostly every John Carpenter movie I really love. He's the master of horror, in my opinion. But it's the horror movies of his that I cling to the most. They speak to me. Orion is saying, what do you think Smile 2 is going to be like? I feel like it's going to be one of those movies that picks up right where we left off from the previous film. This is a movie that's 2 years old now. I can spoil it. We had a pretty dark ending with the original Smile. And I feel like we're picking up right the second we left off, because of what happens with Kyle Gallner. I feel like we're picking right up there and we're just moving. The plot's going again. Kyle's probably going to be our opening kill. Or maybe he makes it and then passes it on to somebody else. I don't know. I think we're definitely going to be adding more to the equation. But Smile 2, I do think, is going to flow in a similar manner to the first film. There has been, like, I've been thinking about this movie a lot because a big criticism of the first Smile was that it was too similar to other flicks. It flows a lot like The Ring. It follows Drag Me to Hell, films like that. Will they change that? I don't think so. Like, I really don't think they'll change that at all. And why I say that is because the first movie made over $200 million at the same time that a new Halloween flick was in the theaters too. So for me, if I'm Parker Finn, I have the biggest ball sack underneath my belt that any horror director has right now. I mean, that's insane. It's one thing to make $200 million with an original IP in the universe of horror with so many popular franchises, but it's a whole nother fucking ball game when we're talking about doing that at the same time that a new Halloween flick is in theaters. That's wild. That's completely insane to me. So if I were Parker Finn, I'd be giving the finger to everybody else and saying, I'm going to do what I want because shit was pretty successful. So I think Smile 2 is going to be a very faithful sequel. Feeling a lot like the original, flowing in a similar manner, but also still being good, I hope. I don't think they're going to change much about the formula or the flow of it. Why would they? After that first one did so well. So despite your criticisms, if you hate that flow, if you hate the way that if you're of the opinion that it copies other movies, I don't think they're changing that. I'm going to be completely real. That would be my guess as of right now, though, but I don't know. Mastermind Killer, thank you so much for being a channel member. Appreciate your support. You would like to do a reimagining of the original Fog? Just don't make it like the remake that we got in like 2005 or whatever, and then you're golden. you're so golden, Mastermind Killer. Hell yeah, dog. I love the Fog. I would love to see another version of that. Just, not the remake that we got. Whew. Oh, dear God. Little Zay Zay is saying, once Toy Story is in the public domain, I'm making it into a horror movie. I already have plans for it. When was Toy Story like 99 or 2000? I want to say that was like late 90s or early thousands. Ooh, I can't remember. It's gonna be, isn't it 50 years before something falls into the public domain? So you got a little bit, little Zay Zay. I gotta wait a little bit, but you're getting there soon. Getting there eventually. I can see the toys having like being killers. That could be fun. Make it like a child's play thing, or like with a Puppet Master. Make it something similar to Puppet Master. That could be fun. Madison, what's up? What's up? How's it going? Me and Madison went on a hike today. It's very fun. Hike meaning we climbed up a ledge and then immediately went back down because neither of us like to go outside for too long. But we were there. We did it. You know, we made the effort. We went outside. We immediately came back inside though. It was very fun. Had a fun day. Got a little bit of work done this morning. Got a little hiking done this afternoon. Streaming all night. I love it. That's the way to do it. Villain Killin' Dylan, what's up, my friend? How's it going? Thank you for being a member. Appreciate your support. Howdy, old Jake. Howdy, old Villain Killin' Dylan. How are you doing, my friend? How are you today? VKD. Welcome in, welcome in. I love the profile picture as always. Roll on Scream 7, my friend. What else do we got going on? Slick Ninja is saying, if you haven't checked out Just Before Dawn, The Prowler in Madhouse. I love The Prowler. The Prowler fucking rocks, dude. That's a very good one. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the only movie I've seen in that list, though. Madhouse I've heard of. I've not watched. Just Before Dawn. I don't think I've seen that one either. There's a lot of slashers that I have missed, unfortunately. That I gotta change that. Gotta change that up. For sure. Gotta see more of these. What else do we got going on here? I want to make sure I said hi to all my members. So let's see what Mastermind Killer is up to here. I believe Smile 2 will be a prequel, then Smile 3 a sequel following the Saw storyline. I mean, it could be a prequel, but I feel like we would have the announcement that Sosie Bacon was going to be in it in some capacity. Kyle Gallner is also said to be a bigger star in the film, and as we know, he made it through the first Smile, but I don't know if he's long for this world. Let's just say that. So I don't know if it's going to be a prequel. I'm with you though that I think that they're going to do probably a Smile 3. I could see that happening. I imagine Smile 2 will also make money. It's going to be one of the movies that makes some big money this year for sure. Like I said, that first one, 200 million unanswered dollars out of absolutely nowhere. 200 million plus too, like over 200 million. That's insane. At the same time Halloween Ends was at the box office, Smile is fucking crazy, man. That whole situation is nuts to me. I love it. I mean, it's a deserving movie. It deserved that money. It's very good in my opinion. But it is crazy. It's crazy how much money that movie made. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Queric is joining us tonight. What's up, dude? How's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. Blair, yo. Jake, Blair, what's up, dog? Welcome in, welcome in. Bob Geeks Out Over Pop Culture is saying, I got to see a early showing of The Strangers Chapter 1 with the cast and director. I'm jealous, Bob. That's awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. I'm excited to see it this Thursday. I can't wait. I want a Silent Hill series reboot, says Sloppenheimer. We are getting some kind of new Silent Hill movie that was announced sometime last year. I'm very excited for it. Hope we get it soon. I love the Silent Hill movies, man. I love both of them. Even that second one that kind of sucks. I love it. I love it to death. Part of my childhood, grew up with that movie. Luddy Network, thank you for the $5, my friend. Greatly appreciate your support. Saying, if you're new to this channel and love horror content, do yourself a solid and become a channel member. Best choice I've made on YouTube. Hashtag Ghostface Called. Dude, thank you for your support, man. Thank you for being a member. I really appreciate you, Luddy Network. Luddy is fucking awesome, as you guys know. This is the gentleman that sent me a flamethrower in the mail. He rocks. And I'm grateful to have your support, my friend. I'm grateful to have you hanging out on these streams with old Jake. Does mean a whole lot. And your guys' support does help me post as much as I do, because I post a lot. I post a lot about these horror updates that are constantly coming out at every waking minute. I got you, dog. I got you updated. With a bunch of crazy shit behind that too. Making silly little juvenile jokes. Always try to make it fun. So, Luddy, thank you so much for your support, man. Thanks for hanging out on these streams with old Jake. Does make me happy. I get lonely otherwise. So thank you. Thank you so much, man. And become a member if you want. You know, no one's forcing you to. But if you want to be part of the cult, if you want to drink some of the Kool-Aid, go right on ahead. Thank you, Luddy. Thanks for the support, my friend. Appreciate you. Old Doge is saying, I just wish Shadow Company, a John Carpenter project that was canceled, was made today. Ooh, Shadow Company. I never heard of this. I know John Carpenter had some projects that were kind of like had some buzz, didn't really happen kind of thing. I have read about that, but I kind of don't remember them. I would love to do a whole video just talking about like maybe even like Wes Craven or John Carpenter projects that like just never came to fruition. That'd be a fun video. I'm gonna have to look into that. Old Doge. I'm very, very into it. Eric Cartman is with us. What's up, Eric Cartman? How's it going? Lionsgate is launching con sales for the Long Walk movie, hoping the story will finally get the adaptation it deserves. Eric Cartman is very excited about the new Long Walk movie. It is a very good Stephen King book, if you have not read it. I believe this was a Richard Bachman novel, if I'm not mistaken. I read it like back in high school, so I kind of can't remember. But it is a very good story. It's a very interesting one. And there's been some buzz here and there about a movie coming out about it, so I'm excited to see it. Hopefully it comes out very soon here. Sounds like some movement is happening. I remember reading this update a little while ago, so exciting stuff nonetheless. I can't wait. Swagnostic Scarecrow is saying, I don't like much horror, but the ones I really like the Scream franchise. Well, that's a shame, my friend, because I think there is a lot of good horror out there. So I know there are some people out there that just watch Scream, and I respect it, I do, but I think you'll have an enhanced viewing of that franchise if you're able to watch more classic horror. That's what I'll say. One of my things that, no, obviously everyone likes what they like. I respect that, I do. But it does baffle me a little bit that we have a lot of people who love Scream but have never seen some of the classics that they comment on in the films. It's a little odd to me, that's all. Because I've always felt like me personally, my experience with Scream was I love this franchise so much because it's almost like it's speaking to me as a horror fan. Like I watch all these other horror movies and here's the franchise that kind of is for the horror nerds, And it's funny because there is a lot of people that are like, I don't like a lot of horror, but I do like Scream. And I'm like, that's so interesting to me. Like you would think Scream wouldn't be the franchise that non-horror fans would like, but it is. It's an odd thing. It's strange to me. But I guess that's my biggest draw to the Scream franchise is because it's the franchise for the people who have seen all the other movies. So it's an interesting thing though. I've heard that a couple of times, and it's always like really? I never thought about that. Interesting. Ty Lee is saying, I heard Smile 2 will be in Brazil or have a Brazilian artist as the main character. And in Smile 1, the teacher saw her or something. There's a connective tissue. Could be a prequel. Oh, wow. Okay. Multiple people saying this is a prequel. Interesting. I was not thinking this because Smile 2, with how it ends, when we got the announcement Kyle Gallner would be in it, I'm like, oh, this is totally going to be a continuation right off of that. I have heard this though. There's a Brazilian pop artist played. I can't remember the actress's name, but whoever the main actress was who was announced for it will be, I believe, is playing this character that it will mostly focus on the whole time. So I kind of got the vibe opening kill is going to be Kyle Gallner, who somehow passes this on to the next main character, was my guess. Or maybe Kyle's character even helps her out at some point, maybe through the first half of it, and it gets him at some point. Maybe a second act break of that. I don't know. I got to look more into this. That there's theories of it being a prequel. That's interesting. This is the first I'm hearing of that too. Getting a lot of good stuff in today's chat. I love it. Very good stuff. Very good, very good. My Chunky Jordy, thank you for the 2. Appreciate the heck out of you. You'll have to do a flamethrower video. I know. I have to do it. Honest to God, the biggest thing has been I can't find a place to do it. I can't find a place to shoot it. I have a buddy who has a field. He just has a bunch of acres in his backyard. I'm thinking about doing it out there and just getting some kind of shots of me in a Ghostface robe or something doing it. I'm like, that would be funny. Have the fucking the silver mask from 5, have the cutoffs with the flame. I'll do a Scream 5 bit. It'll be funny. Fuck it. I'll put it on the page at some point. I'm getting to it. I promise. Just a lot has to line up. I also have to learn how to use a flamethrower because I don't know about you guys, but I'm terrified. I'm terrified to use a flamethrower and accidentally hit somebody. That thing shoots too, man. I mean, it throws that flame. I mean, that title ain't lying. That title ain't lying, let me tell you. So my Chunky Jordy, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. And at some point, I will get to this. Gonna make it happen. I've never even owned I'm not gonna say that. Okay. Anyways, let's keep this moving. Hybrid Gamer, what's up? What's up, my friend? How's it going? Writing a graphic novel about 3 goth cheerleaders with superpowers hunting monsters. I can send you some pics of the fashion. It's impeccable. Oh, I like this. A similar movie adaptation to Mean Girls, Heather's Jawbreakers. You should watch The Craft if you've never seen The Craft. I can feel that. I can feel the craft coming off of this a little bit. Give that a watch if you've never seen it. Ooh. The Craft is one of my favorite 90s horror movies. I love that one to death. It is right up there with Scream in terms of like horror movies from the 90s I really like. I love The Craft. Also has your girl Nev Campbell in it. She fucking rocks. I will say though, Fairuza Balk, I think that's her name. I think she's like kind of the pseudo lead, so to say, not really, kind of. She steals the show. She is my favorite part of that whole movie. She's incredible. Skeet Ulrich is also in that movie, I'm just realizing. Also from Scream. Same year as Scream, too, 1996. Damn. 1996, horror fans were eating good. Goddamn. The Craft, Scream. Ugh. I wouldn't be able to contain myself. Swagnostic Scarecrow also likes Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. The original Nightmare is so much fun. Love that movie to death. That's like the most 80s horror movie, in my opinion. Like that is like, if you want to watch, what was horror like in the 1980s? Let's say you had never seen an 80s horror film before. I feel bad for you if that's the case. Watch Nightmare on Elm Street. That like embodies the vibe of 80s horror movies, in my opinion. It is like the quintessential 80s horror flick. Nightmare on Elm Street, like, down to the score, down to the style of killer, the way they kill. I mean, it's so 80s it hurts in a good way. I love it. Nightmare on Elm Street rocks. Very good movie. Just watched the original Psycho for the first time last week. Loved how it was engaging, even though I already knew the ultimate reveal. It's crazy when a film stands the test of time, but Psycho, a movie that was made in 1960, this movie is still good nowadays. I'm with you, Ty. It's crazy. It's what, 64 years that movie came out? Like, that's crazy, and it's still good in the modern day. You can't say that about every horror film. You can't say that about every movie in general. It's really impressive, man. Alfred Hitchcock knew what he was doing, especially with that one. Whew, Psycho rocks. And if you're a fan of Scream, if you're a fan of like how Scream goes about its flow, it's very twisty. It's got like things here and there where it's like, oh, big shock, big surprise. I mean, if it wasn't for Psycho, you wouldn't have that. Psycho is the reason we have slasher films. It's the reason we have murder mystery twists in horror slashers today. It's just such an excellent film. It's one of the most important horror films ever made. If you have not seen it, put it on your watch list. Give it a watch. It's an old movie that actually is still so good and so engaging, even in 2024. Which sometimes you go back, you watch those old movies, and I'm talking, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, like I'm talking Universal monster movies. You go back and watch some of these, and some parts of them haven't aged very well. You're just like, I don't know if I like the way this movie flows. It feels a little slow compared to a modern movie. Psycho, it rocks, man. It's a 10 out of 10, even today. Slick Ninja is saying A Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite slasher franchise. My second is Friday the 13th. You must love Freddy vs. Jason then. That must be like your ultimate horror movie. That's just like, oh, love it. So much fun. Ryan Swayze is saying, Jake, what is a horror movie you feel is underrated? My usual answer to this question is Upgrade from 2018. This is a film that nobody talks about. I think it is easily one of the best horror films from the 2010s, like the entire decade. It is a top 10 for me. Upgrade is so good. You want to talk about a good twist? Woo! I won't spoil it, of course, but goddamn, give it a watch. It is an excellent film. Probably the best horror movie that Leigh Whannell has directed, in my opinion. Very good film. Very, very, very good. I don't even want to talk about it. That's how good it is. Like, just go watch it, and then we'll talk about it at some point. Excellent, excellent film. Ella, thanks for being a member. You see the second trailer for Quiet Place Day One. I have. I'm honestly excited for the film for the cast alone. I love Lupita Nyong'o. I love Joseph Quinn. Who the fuck else is in it? Oh, the guy from the second movie too. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I love that dude. Djimon Hounsou. Ooh, shit. Oh, I remembered that off the top of my head. That's crazy. Djimon Hounsou. I love him. Love him to death. He is in so many movies and you just don't realize it. Like that guy he's a fantastic actor. You want to talk about underrated? Excellent dude. So I'm very excited for Quiet Place Day One. It looks like it's going to be fun. Very excited to see that one in the theaters next month. Whew, coming up. We got a lot of fun things coming up in horror, man. From the indie releases to some of the big franchise releases, there's a lot to talk about. A lot of exciting stuff here. Jack Bates is finally catching a live. Hell yeah, dog. Welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with me on Monday night. Appreciate you. The Craft? Yeah, The Craft is so good. I love The Craft. That's a banger. Richard, what's up, dog? How's it going? Hey, man, hope you're doing well. I agree with your art is a parasite theory. Hell yeah, because I think art is what caused Sienna's dad to have that crazy tumor. I think both his kids are affected, too. Richard, I'm smelling what you're stepping in, man, and I think I have to agree. I do believe that one of them is going to go in the next flick. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Jonathan is long for this world. That's been my big theory with Terrifier 3. We've seen a lot of pictures of the cast and crew from Terrifier 3 doing silly little behind-the-scenes stuff. Haven't seen a whole lot of Jonathan. What's up with that? What's going on there? You know, you wouldn't be able to show a picture of Elliot Fulham, who plays the character, if he was covered in clown makeup, because that means the dude's either dead or working for the other team, if you catch my drift here. So I do believe my man here is going to go all full clown on us. It's going to be a very sad reveal towards the end when his sister finds out. Ugh. It's gonna be yikes. It's gonna be a very tough movie to watch. I do feel like Terrifier 3 is almost gonna be like the Infinity War of this franchise, which horrible comparison, I know. But I do feel like it's going to be a bit of a downer. It's gonna be like, oh, Sienna is down now. We had this kind of success in the previous movie. We stopped the clown, but now he's back. And now Sienna's gonna take a hard hit. A massive overgeneralization. Massive hit. And Terrifier 4 is gonna be the triumph over Art the Clown, finding a way to finally kill him. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm very, very, very excited for the film. Luddy is saying, I'm not sure how someone would understand the meta jokes in Scream without watching other horror movies they comment on. I feel that. I do feel that too. That's another thing. I'm always, that's kind of why I'm always stumped at that opinion. Obviously there's nothing wrong with that. If you just like the Scream movies, you're not really crazy about other horror films, I respect it. But it's always been my thing. I'm like, so you've never seen Texas Chainsaw though? You've never seen Halloween? Like that's kind of where Scream comes from. You know, where the commentary, where the horror fans that created it, that's why they made it, was for other horror fans. So it is odd. It is interesting to me. It interests me more than anything. I love it. Locked, thank you for being a member for a year. Holy shit. It's crazy. Locked is saying Frankenstein is incredible though, 10 out of 10. I couldn't agree more. Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, so very good. And and in my opinion, I like the updated version of Dracula a little better. You can watch the original one. It's good, but they added music to it, and I think the music adds so much. It's a very excellent score for the original Dracula. I love that. Love that music there. Really gives it a lot of atmosphere. I will say, in some weird ways, I feel like Dracula hasn't aged well, in the sense of, like, you've seen a vampire flick before, so it's kind of not as shocking of a concept, which the movie, the original Dracula, and I'm talking the Universal one, because there's other versions of it from before that, of course. The Universal Dracula, when you're watching it, you're kind of like, they're kind of explaining what a vampire is, almost like it's this new concept, but, you know, if you're watching it in 2024, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I got it. Like I've seen a million things with vampires in it. Let's get to the punch here. And it kind of takes a bit. I will say that Frankenstein is my personal favorite from the Universal Monsters catalog. I also love Bride of Frankenstein. That is very much so up there too. But I couldn't agree more. This is another movie that has aged very well and is still very spooky even to this day. The scene with the little girl, whoo, yikes. I know some people are like, oh, Art the Clown better not be killing kids, but they were doing that back in the Frankenstein days. I'm just saying. And if I spoiled that for you, dog, it's a movie that's it's 100 years old, right? It's like 100, almost 100. I gotta be close. Come on now. Anyways, let's see what's going on. I have a great voice for radio. Same with my face too. I've been told that many times. I think that's a compliment, right? I don't know. Thank you though, Ryan. I appreciate it. Upgrade was so great. Couldn't agree more. 100%. Slick Ninja is saying, yes, Upgrade is excellent. Blumhouse's best original film. Ooh, it's a hot take, my friend. I love Upgrade. But Blumhouse has got a lot of good movies. Ooh, they got a lot of good ones. Scream 7 and Chucky Season 4. Did it get renewed? I'm not like the biggest fan of the Chucky show, but it would make me very happy if it got renewed. Nonetheless, Chucky Season 4. I'm very curious. I want to know. Okay, so the sci-fi website is saying that Chucky creator Don Mancini is hoping for season 4. I feel like that would be kind of weird if they posted that and then didn't renew it. But I don't know. No news yet. I was hearing that we were going to get a decision today, though. I thought we were going to get something about that. I guess not. I'm hoping it gets renewed, though. I really do. I'm more so hoping for a movie, but I wouldn't mind that because I know the fans would be happy. Talia is saying I'm going to see The Strangers on Sunday. What's up, Talia? How you doing? Hope you enjoy the movie. You're really excited, but also nervous to see how it will all play out. I'm kind of there too. I'm cautiously optimistic with The Strangers Chapter 1. And you know, here's my thing about it. I feel like even if I'm not crazy about the movie, I'm going to be a little more lenient towards it in my review because don't forget, this is the first film in a one long story. Like this might feel a lot like Dune 1, which in my opinion, I was not crazy about Dune Part 1. It's just a lot of setup for what feels like not a whole lot of punch. And now that I've seen Dune 2, I like Dune 1. I'm like, oh shit, this is what it was building up to. Okay, maybe I can get into this a little more. So I'm feeling like I'm gonna be a little lighter on the Strangers Chapter 1, even if it does feel a little too much like the original film. So I'm gonna see it, I'm gonna digest it, I'm gonna really give you my take. But like I said, probably gonna be a little easier on it. And I'll that's what I'll say to everybody is maybe be easy on this one until we really see the full picture in chapters 2 and 3. Like if chapters 2 and 3 suck, well, then maybe all of them suck. But I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I'm wrong about that. I'm hoping this one fucking rocks, Talia. I hope you enjoy it this weekend though. Would I rather see a reboot to Friday or Freddy? Oh, that's tough. I love both of these franchises big time. We've been talking a lot about the Friday the 13th reboot, though. And I brought up a point today in the latest video, which, once again, please watch that. It's a good video. Spent a lot of time on that one. It's 15 minutes long. Whole lot of updates in there. I said something about Friday the 13th, and I'm kind of leaning towards wanting to see that because something I thought about, right? We have all of these slasher movies releasing in theaters. If it's Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3, In a Violent Nature now, all coming to theaters unrated. That's crazy to me. Unrated horror movies in the theaters, that's unheard of. That's wild. I would love to see A24 produce a Friday the 13th movie that's unrated, releases in theaters, and it fucking rocks. Because here's the thing, right? The MPAA, now the MPA, have would cut down the Friday the 13th movies big time. So much gore, so much nasty effects were lost throughout a lot of those sequels because they kept getting cut down. And that sucks. You want to do something to improve upon Friday the 13th nowadays with a brand new movie? Do that. Give us your run-of-the-mill Jason killing camp counselors and all that shit, and then actually show us some nasty gore. This is one of the only franchises, by the way, that I will say I think they should just kind of keep doing the same thing over and over again. I know, hot take, but that's what I want from Friday the 13th. I want to see my man Jason scoring some kills, man. It's fun. It's goofy. It's nothing I take too seriously. I've never really found Jason scary. It's more of a funny thing. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for whatever comes next in Friday the 13th. Do we get that Pamela series at some point? Well, it's looking grim for that, unfortunately. But I hope we do get some of the weirder stuff that some of the franchise fans would love to see at some point. But like I said, I'm hoping for that big movie first. I want to see Jason back on the big screen. Love my man Jason. Imagine a Chuck E. Cheese horror film. Five Nights at Freddy's, baby. It already exists. I almost feel like Terrifier 3 will be the Infinity War of this franchise. It's not a great comparison. I appreciate that, Locked, but come on now. I don't know, dog. Shit's funny. Jack Bates is saying, I'm visiting my family in Germany from June through August, and Maxine comes out 2 days earlier than here in the US. So excited. That's some great luck. Dude, enjoy, Jack Bates. Have a good time. I see you're a fan of the X trilogy with the X profile picture you got there. So enjoy, Maxine, 2 days earlier. That's fucking awesome, man. Nice. Enjoy. Do you speak Deutsch? Just out of curiosity, or do they have English-speaking cinemas over there? Like I said earlier, I've never been out of continental United States, so I'm not 100% sure on all that. But enjoy, nonetheless. I have heard from, my one buddy goes to Mexico a lot, and he says there are English-speaking cinemas, but not all of them. So I don't know if that's the same in Germany or not. That's why I'm asking. I'm curious. It's always interesting. I like learning about this weird world of ours. Evan from Rockland Graves is saying, Frankenstein and Wolfman are my favorite Universal monster movies. They're so good. I like Wolfman too. Wolfman's fun. Frankenstein's my favorite though. Frankenstein and Bride, my favorites. But Wolfman is it rocks, man. It's a fun one. It's got a weird ending, but it's fun. What else do we got going on? Mastermind Killer is saying, watched Immaculate this weekend, and near the end we were like, oh heck no, they won't do it. But we were surprisingly wrong. Dude. Immaculate is my favorite horror film of the year so far. I don't even know. It blew my fucking mind. I had so many expectations going into that film of this is going to be a fun little whatever indie Antichrist movie, whatever. It's Sydney Sweeney. Okay, they're putting this out because it's got Sydney Sweeney in it and she's a big star now. Whatever. Then you read more about it, then you actually watch the film, and you're like, this is the coolest horror film to come out all year. Holy shit. Like, I'm blown away by not only the backstory of that film, but also just what they were able to do. There's so much about that movie that makes it so cool. Learning more about it throughout the past couple of months, it's made it my favorite horror film. I'm like, I'm so rooting for this team. This is so fucking cool. And for those who don't know, it's a film that was shot originally back in like 2019 or something like that, but it just got axed. And as Sydney Sweeney's star grew and, rose to power, she brought it back to life. She like produced it. She put a bunch of money into it and was like, let's do this. Let's make this happen. I want to make this fun horror flick. It was a good script. Let's go for it. And they had enough time to kind of, like perfect some of the, polish some of the edges of it. And they made it into, in my opinion, the best horror film of the year so far. I've yet to see something that I've liked more than Immaculate. My jaw was on the fucking ground at the end. I think it's got a like blow your fucking mind ending. 10 out of 10. I loved Immaculate so much. One of my favorite horror films of the year. I've yet to see something this year that has impressed me as much as that. That was so good. Fucking crazy movie, dude. Madison is saying, my favorite older vampire movie is Interview with a Vampire or The Lost Boys. I love The Lost Boys. We watched this recently. I even bought it recently because I love it so much. The Lost Boys is awesome. I haven't watched Interview with a Vampire since like before I started this page. It's been that long. That's one that I really need to get to. I need to get to that one again for sure. It's been too long. Infinite Sky is with us tonight. What's up, my friend? How's it going? Paranoid Android by Radiohead. Love me some Radiohead. Got some good stuff there. Got some good stuff there for sure. Gorg is saying, dude, I'm watching City of the Living Dead and it's kind of boring if I'm being honest. Great effects though, so gross. That's probably my biggest criticism of that one. That's a Fulci movie. I do love a lot of his stuff because it's so gross. But that one does have a bit of a slower pace, I will say. If you watch Zombie is a little more fast paced and like just gets to the action. City of the Living Dead does take its time a little more, but it's a good story. I have a good time with it. Is it a 10 out of 10? I don't know about that, but it's a fun Fulci movie. I enjoy City of the Living Dead, but I get not being crazy about it either, Gorg. Enjoy the effects. There is one of the grossest things I've ever seen in a movie in that film, and I won't say what for those who haven't seen it, because I feel like that's a little more of an obscure horror flick. Watch that one if you have not seen it. Very good. Luddy is saying, do you think they would ever make another Sinister movie? More found footage films, different kills, VHS, gore style? I would hope so. It's interesting because Sinister Chapter 2, or the second one, I don't think it's called Chapter 2. The second Sinister I know didn't do very well at the box office, but I actually kind of like Sinister 2. Is it as good as the first one? Absolutely not. But Sinister 2's got some really good like found footage tapes or whatever in there. I think it's got a scary little style to it. I really like 2. It's not as good as the first one. I would call it underrated, maybe. I think some people don't even know it exists. But it's an interesting watch, not as good as the first one. But I would love a third. I would love another Sinister film. I think it's a good enough idea to render a third flick. With everything it's got going for it. All the creepy tapes, creepy kids, great fucking like super iconic killer character. There's a lot there. There's a lot there with Sinister. Probably my favorite Blumhouse movie nowadays, which is a hot take. I love Insidious, but Sinister is really growing on me. I rewatched that with my parents recently. They had never seen it. They're like, I've never seen Sinister. And I'm like, what? How did you never see Sinister? It's like a modern horror classic, without a doubt. I love it. Great film. Excellent movie. What do we got? What else do we got going on here? Evan is saying Immaculate was ridiculously good. Yes, it was. I love that one. Very good stuff. And Evan, I saw you were also saying something about Sinister 2. Sinister 2 had some really solid ideas. I agree. It's not as good as the first one. Like it's definitely not. It's I like putting the focus on James Ransone's character. I thought that was really cool. So some of the tapes have really stuck with me with that one too. Like I think the putting the rats in the metal bowls and heating them up, having them crawl through people. Ooh, that's a tape that has really stuck with me for a long time. But yeah, the first Sinister, hard to say that's not the best Blumhouse movie. I'm not even gonna lie. That one rocks. That one's really good. Jack Bates is saying Fulci isn't really for me. Love Argento and Bava. The Suspiria Phenomena and Tenebrae are some of my favorite movies of all time. So I love the fact that Maxine will be paying homage to Giallos. I love pretty much everyone you've said there. I really like a lot of Italian filmmakers. A lot of good horror coming from that time period as well. Yeah, I love Giallos. Fulci is probably my favorite. I love gross horror movies to death. That's kind of one of my biggest draws to Argento movies, especially. He loves to get nasty with those kills, man. Gotta love it. It's like it's always kind of like a murder mystery with Argento, Giallo. And then you always got this like cherry red blood, these over the top kills, great like insane score. I think Deep Red is like his masterpiece. I just love that film to death. It is so much fun. I can see some people saying it's slow, but there's so much to love about every scene of that movie. I don't know. There's some great character work. There's some great effects and kills. It's just iconic. It's great. Argento's awesome, man. Have I ever played Dead Space? Yeah, of course of course I played Dead Space. Listen, as a fan of The Thing and Alien and sci-fi in general, of course I played Dead Space. The movie Life could have been so good if they had just taken inspiration from Dead Space. I've never thought about that, Luddy. You're absolutely right. Life is a lot like Dead Space. So, for the longest time, and for those, pause. Let's hit a pause real quick. For those who don't know, Dead Space is a video game about like you're basically this like astronaut trapped on a spaceship and all these fucking alien monsters are attacking you, and they're fucking like meat monsters. They're disgusting. It's hard to kill them. It's a crazy thing. John Carpenter was supposed to do a movie adaptation of this like a long time ago. There was rumblings of that, and it just never came to fruition. There's been it's one of those things where every year we get rumblings about it and nothing happens. Just like another Thing movie. Like are we gonna get that? I don't know. Fucking no. Probably not. I would love to see that. I would love to see John Carpenter do that. But he's kind of done with movies, man. And for those who missed it, recently John Mulaney, the comedian, love his work to death. I think he's fucking hilarious. He did this live show on Netflix. It's called Everybody's in LA. If you guys missed it, it's all good. It's on Netflix. You can watch it right now. The last episode, where they're talking about the future of LA, John Carpenter himself is on it. And there's, hilariously enough, this is not the first time I've heard this before, but John Mulaney makes a joke about how in the email when they were asking him to be on the show, John Carpenter said, "Don't bring up my fucking movies," or something like that. Like they even make a joke about it in the show. It's hilarious. I think he's just done. I think he's just done with movies. He just wants to retire, just be himself, hang out, play video games, probably get high and eat Cheetos. And that's totally fucking cool, man. I vibe with that. I think I'm going to get to a certain age where that's all I'm going to want to do too. But I would love to see him come back and direct some more shit. I know he just did like the Suburban Screams or whatever on Peacock. That was fun. That was cool. But I would love to see him come back and do a Dead Space movie or just anything. Just one more flick from the guy. I still have not seen his last directorial like feature. I believe it's called like The Ward or something like that. I still have never seen that. Been meaning to watch that though. I love John Carpenter. I've been kind of obsessed with his movies lately. I just bought, I finally bought Escape from New York. It's a movie I just never had in my collection, and I'm eagerly waiting for that to arrive because I really want to watch that again. But I just love his movies to death. There's just something about John Carpenter flicks that isn't the same as everything else out there. Evan is saying the character work in Sinister 2 is actually like quite solid. It's just the horror side that I think really falls flat. The first one is also my favorite Blumhouse movie. I do feel you there. I kind of don't remember a lot of the characters in Sinister 2 though. I do remember like it's kind of about the mom and the kids or whatever. I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute since I've seen it. Isn't she like staying away from like the dad or something like that? I've only seen Sinister 2 like once. I remember enjoying it. I remember being like, oh, that was good. That was fine. It was like an Insidious sequel, It's like, it's cool. It's not as good as the original, but it was cool. I would like another one though. I'm not gonna lie, with Scott Derrickson fucking killing it lately. If it's with the Black Phone 2 or he's one of the shorts in the new VHS movie. I mean, dude is just all over the place. Projects coming out left and right that he's attached to. It's great. I love Scott Derrickson. One of the, I would say, a modern horror legend. Hot take. dude is made enough, I think, to achieve that status. He's right up there with like James Wan, Lee Winnell, a lot of those people. Dude's incredible. Would love to see more. I would love to see more from him, especially him returning to the Sinister world, because I know he didn't do the sequel, but I'd love to see him do another one. Mastermind Killer is saying, so Radio Silence leaves Escape from New York for the new trilogy. Barrera and Ortega drama with Spy Glass. Bring back Radio Silence. So here's my theory about that, why they left the Escape from New York trilogy. I really think that they wanted them to immediately hop from Scream to Escape from New York, similar to what David Gordon Green just did with Halloween and The Exorcist, but look how that worked out. I think that, and if you read the quote from Tyler Gillette, he was talking about there was a window of time where they had to do it or it just wasn't happening. I think they were like, yeah, we're not going to be able to make a good movie in that short a time. Radio Silence, they're smart guys. You know, a lot of people want to say their Scream movies are fucking the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of movies, but they're smart dudes, man. They make some good movies. They make some good decisions. I wish Abigail had made more money, but I think there's some outside factors there that harmed that flick. But I guess my point with this is I feel like the reason they didn't do it was because the studio wanted those movies real quick, like a fast turnaround, and Radio Silence is not about that. They want to make what they make they want to make good movies. They want to make a few good movies, not a lot of just movies. And I won't say any more about that. No more comparisons to David Gordon Green, but I think that's probably the biggest factor. The studio just wanted a lot of movies. Radio Silence was like, dude, okay, man. And think about this too. They didn't even want to make Scream 6. They wanted to make one Scream movie, get in, get out. And they were like, oh, okay, I guess we'll do one more. And I'm glad they did. But if they would have made a third one, I don't know, maybe they would have lost interest. And maybe it's a good thing that they didn't make 7. As much as I would love another Radio Silence Scream, I would hate for the passion to not be there. That would make me sad. So you got to follow your heart with these things, even if it does mean more money. And I believe Radio Silence is a filmmaking duo that does put their heart and soul into the things that they make. And I love that about them. So I'm very excited for whatever Radio Silence does next. I know that they're producing a shit ton of horror movies right now. They're in talks to do some like comedy project with Andy Samberg, which is nuts to me. Hell yeah. I'm very excited to see whatever they do next, man. I will say Abigail feels like a shift in their career, almost like they're wrapping it up with directing horror movies, maybe slipping more into a producer role. Kind of, I compared it to Seth Rogen's career, where he was doing comedy movies until comedy movies kind of fell off the popularity chain, and now he's just producing a bunch of weird shit. But, you know, dude's still collecting a paycheck. Dude's still making a lot of really good TV shows. He's killing it. Seth Rogen, I love a lot of his shit. So I imagine Radio Silence is probably slipping into something similar. So we'll just have to see. Ryan Swayze is saying, Jake, do you feel they mismarketed Abigail by revealing she's a vampire in the trailer? This is something a lot of people have been talking about. Like, was that too big of a reveal, considering how the movie flows? I'm really on the fence about the whole thing, because I would want to know I feel like knowing what the movie is about, what I'm getting myself into, is a good thing. I can also, reading this out loud, I'm thinking to myself, like, are you trying to trick the audience into seeing a vampire flick? You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, I don't feel like that would have worked either. It's tough to say. I feel like if there's any mistake in the marketing, I feel like they didn't have the elusive campaign that so many other Radio Silence flicks have had. A lot of their other movies have been successful, not all, but most. And a lot of it is due to the fact that the marketing was so fucking awesome. I actually talked a little bit about like Ready or Not's marketing, Scream 5 and 6's marketing, which was so explosive, so well done. And then even going back to like their, I believe 2014 effort, Devil's Due, like that had a fucking wild marketing campaign. They were like pranking people with a little like demon baby for that. Like, that's crazy. What? Like, I don't know. Most of their movies have had such a great marketing campaign. Abigail, I feel like, maybe a week before its release, I was seeing the trailer a little more, but that's it. Like, nothing super, super exciting, which is I think the biggest shame of the marketing. That could have been a big hit. I am still going to say that Abigail is one of the best horror flicks of the year. I had a blast with it. One of my favorite horror comedies from the 2020s so far. Just a shame. I don't know. I think it could have done some big numbers at the box office had it been marketed a little better. What is the job of film producers? Exactly how it reads. They got to produce. They got to make it happen one way or the other. There's a lot. There's a lot that comes with it. It can mean a lot of things, kind of. That's why you have executive producers who kind of don't really do anything, but like maybe just throw some money at the fucking project. There's a lot to it. Fluff Chick Productions. What's up, my dude? How's it going? Hey. Thank you for being a Patreon member. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support, my friend. Hell yeah, dog. You're also a member on, or that's Connie, never mind. Thank you, though, Fluff Chick Productions. Appreciate you for being here. Connie Cleary has been a member for 11 months. Holy crap, we're coming up on a year for a lot of people. Connie saying, love Abigail. I do, too. I loved Abigail. Had a blast with it. Radio Silence just doesn't miss, in my opinion. I love a lot of their movies. Connie, thank you for being a member for 11 years. We're almost at a year. Love you and the bird. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you. Abigail fucking rocks. Hollywood Guy, my friend, how are you doing? What's up, man? Jake, did you like the new Crow trailer? I did not. Here's my thing. It's tough for me to give an opinion on The Crow. I still have not seen it, which I think like 7 streams ago or so now, I was saying I'm going to watch it, I'm going to make it happen. I just have not had the time. Jake has been busy. When I'm not doing this, I'm editing my short film, and then when I'm not doing that, I'm finding time to hang out with friends and family and actually seeing them and being a human being. It's been tough. It's a balancing act that is the reason I'm currently sweating right now. So I do really want to watch The Crow. I want to make that happen at some point. And then watch this trailer and kind of give my opinion. It seems as if the majority of the Crow fan base is not happy with the Crow trailer, though. They're not thrilled to see it. I've heard the biggest thing I've heard, because what I know about the film is that it's a revenge film. Biggest thing I've heard from other people is that it looks a little too much like John Wick. I don't really get why that's a criticism. I don't know. Is it too John Wick? Is that what they don't like about it? I'm not 100% sure. So I'm not really. It's tough for me to give an opinion, I guess. Let me watch the movie though, and I will get back to you on that very soon here, Hollywood Guy. As soon as I have time, I'm gonna make it happen. But thank you for being a member for 11 months. Holy crap! Appreciate your support, my friend. Thank you. Cosmic Urgency is with us tonight as well. What's up, my friend? How are you? Scream 5 marketing. Stu's house in focus, despite that playing out as a twist in the movie. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know why they played that as a twist. It's kind of weird, if I'm being honest, the way they framed that in the film. I feel like they could have totally taken that out. Especially with like a lot of the set photos that they dropped before the movie even came out. Like this is clearly Stu's house. Like they literally, there is a full frame picture of what the set looks like that came out months before the movie came out. And they're just like, hell yeah. There it is. We're back, and I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Like that's sick that we're going back there. And then they do play it as a big reveal. I'm not sure what was up with that. Even in the trailers, we were seeing that shot where it's Melissa Barrera like standing in the doorway or whatever, and it's like the camera pulls out from there. I don't know. It's an odd thing. It's a strange thing. Cosmic Urgency, I will say. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind the third act of Scream 5 taking place at Stu's house. I think the only time where I wasn't crazy about it is the sequence where we have Richie and Amber in the kitchen with everybody else. It just felt a little too similar to the original film. I don't think we needed to go to the kitchen. There's so many other rooms that were revealed in Stu's house. Let's go hang out in the living room. Let's do the reveal, the confrontation somewhere else. I don't know. We did do the reveal in the living room, didn't we? That was pretty cool. That was my favorite. I think that's my favorite part of the whole movie. I know. Bam! Shit. That's iconic. Like one of the best reveals in the whole franchise. Love that shit. Yeah, you want to talk about a movie moment that blew my fucking mind? Scream 5. That's the reason Scream 5 was on my top 10 list for 2022 horror movies was because of that scene alone. Like that was awesome. I love that shit. Ty Lee is saying Jack fans are pissed because they made The Crow look like Jared Leto's Joker. He does look like that. That's true. Instead of grungy rock star, they put hip hop over it and turned him into John Wick. I gotta watch the movie, man. I'm so sorry. I wish I could give a better opinion. I don't know how I missed that one. Like I just never saw it. I never saw The Crow. It's considered a horror classic. I don't know. I just totally missed it. There's so many. It's weird because like if you ask me, oh, have you seen Day of the Dead 2 Contagium? I have. I have seen that piece of shit movie, but I've never seen The Crow. I don't know. I've seen like the weirdest bad movies that it's like you probably have never even heard of, and then I've never seen The fucking Crow. Ah man, I gotta get on some of these classics. There are some really big movies that I've just never seen. I don't know how I missed them. I'm like, damn, never saw that. Crazy. I just watched Splash for the first time. I don't know. Is that a big movie? It's not a horror movie. It's all not at all. But it is about Tom Hanks falling in love with a mermaid. So if that's your jam, there you go. Luddy Network is saying I need to take you to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. If you haven't been, you'd love it, and if you've been, you would probably have a blast, dude. I went there 2 years ago, I believe. I believe it was 2022. I got to see whatever year the Myers house, they had that as one of the haunted houses. I was able to go to that. That was fucking awesome. Like, whew, that easily the best haunted house I have ever been to in my life. I mean, the attention to detail, making it look like the Myers house, making certain characters look like people from that movie. I don't know how they did it. I mean, it was so well done. And they're just getting like locals, like to be like, okay, you kind of look like Dr. Loomis. Let's dress you up like that. And there's so many Michaels, so many recreations of characters from that original movie. It was so well done. Very good stuff. I love Halloween Horror Nights. I would love to go more, but it is crazy expensive. It's like $500 for a fucking ticket or something like that. It's like, oh God. Jake doesn't have that kind of money, but I do want to get back at some point. I want to make that happen. So it is a very fun time. What else is going up? The Crow isn't straight up horror, stylistic dark romance revenge with some supernatural stuff. I know it's very like goth. Like I have some friends who are like goth, and they're like, oh, it's like the most goth. It's the goth Bible movie kind of thing. Again, I haven't really seen it, but I would love to. I'm actually very interested in the film. So just don't want you going and expecting full blown horror. Yeah, I've heard it's like more of a revenge story, like more or less. That's very like stylistic. I'm into that though. I vibe with that. I promise, like, not everything I watch is horror. I'm not crazy. I don't just sit in my room and, sit over my bed watching horror movies, shoveling popcorn into my face. I do that most days, but not every day. Okay. Sometimes I break it up with Finding Nemo every now and then, but I do love me a good kids movie. I'm not going to lie. Gorg, have I seen Necromantic? I have not, but I love the title. Love the title. Reminds me a lot of Panos Cosmatos' new film that's coming out hopefully at some point from A24. It's like, what the fuck? Oh man, Necrogasm or something like that. That sounds like orgasm and something else. It sounds good though. Love me some Panos Cosmatos. A great horror director. If you guys have not seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, like easily one of the best sci-fi horror films from the 2010s. I love that movie to death. And Mandy, of course. Mandy is great, but I feel like a lot of people know about Mandy at this point. Mandy's a very good movie. Mastermind Killer is saying, have a bloody good night, everyone. Bloody Mary wants to watch our movie. Hell yeah, dog. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Mastermind Killer. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Jack Bates is saying, I just realized how much horror I watched. The only non-horror stuff I watched this month is iCarly season 5. I'm revisiting that show because it was the show I grew up with as a kid, born in 1999. Very nice. I'm 98, so I feel you. I watched a lot of iCarly growing up. I watched a lot of Nick shows, a lot of Drake and Josh, a lot of iCarly. I still have not watched that Quiet on Set. I feel like it's going to make me really sad, so I'm reserving that for a day that I can be sad. I haven't watched the iCarly revival either. I haven't even heard anybody really talking about it, but been trying to make that happen. I've been trying to do that. Been trying to watch that at some point, Jack Bates. But I remember it being a good show. I remember it being fun. Orion is asking, have I seen Dude Bro Party Massacre 3? I watched it like a long time ago. I remember it being a silly little fun movie. Don't really remember much else. I know that didn't Dead Meat do a kill count on that movie? I remember it being like very stylistic. There were some really interesting like sequences. It's very much so like a parody of like 80s slashers. It's fun. It's very funny. I remember having a good time with it. Luddy Network is saying possibly your plane ticket, but the ticket is $80. It's $80? What? And I'm sure the guy who sent you a flamethrower would be willing to buy you a ticket to a theme park. Well, thank you, Luddy. I appreciate it. I'll be down there at some point for sure. I've been trying to figure out going down there like all year pretty much. I'm like, can I get down there at some point? That would be sick. The The girlfriend and I, though, have been talking about going to Cedar Point up here in Ohio, too, which is a lot of fun during Halloween time as well. So I want to get down to Orlando, though. I love Orlando. It is so much fun. Every time I've been, it's been a good time. And Universal Studios is the place to go, man. It's a very good time. So, Luddy, I will keep you updated if I do end up going down there. It would be a fun time, for sure. Brobotic. What's up, Brobotic? How's it going? Hi, would you watch a horror movie called The Shadow Killer? You know, I need a little more than a title, my friend. I love shadows, I love killers, but I need to know what this is all about, you know? This is a guy who lives in the shadows and he kills people? Okay, what's his deal? Give me a plot description and then we'll talk, Brobotic. Needs to be more than a glossy title, as they say. Not a whole lot of crazy horror news today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We were getting a lot of crazy stuff last week, but nothing too nuts to talk about, honestly. I've been kind of watching it all day. Not a whole lot of crazy shit. And it's usually like there's something, you know, there's been something every single week where I'm like, ooh, that's nuts. We got a full theatrical trailer for Longlegs. That was exciting. That was pretty cool. If you guys have not seen that yet, I recommend checking it out. And we're also getting a prop replica of Ash's chainsaw hand from Army of Darkness. I was going to say Evil Dead 3, but that's not the title. So we got some fun stuff today. There's some goofy little stories here and there, but kind of a slower horror news day, which is kind of nuts to me. So Luddy Network, thank you for the $5, my friend. How much do I have to pay to have you and Zach Cherry do a Who Killed Who for Scream 7? I would love to work with Zach Cherry. That would be a lot of fun. I love his videos. I love the attention to detail in his videos. Does a very good job with those. And the other thing, Luddy, is I want to start doing more like that kind of style of video where it's more like video essay, very informative. I've yet to have that work on this page. So I'm actually thinking about starting another horror channel. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm thinking about starting a whole new channel where it's just video essays, no horror news. Because I think I'm kind of locked in. I've done a lot of reading about how you get your page to a certain point and you got to post that. Like, you can't really break away from that. So my goal on this page moving forward is just always going to be movie news. But I would love to start. I have some other channels that I want to start at some point. I need a little more capital before I get there. But I do want to start doing like a page where I'm talking about that, like specifically that, like just doing little, doing video essays on things I like in the horror space, and hopefully it blows up. It would be cool. I would love to do stuff similar to what Zach Cherry's doing too, like where it's video essays on crazy shit that's happening in a movie, longer, like maybe an hour long videos. Like, I would love to do that shit. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of editing. But it's worth it if you get something, get something in the can that's like really, really fun, really worth people's time. And maybe it hits the algorithm. That's the tough thing about doing something like that. So I would love to do, personally, that's the kind of videos that I would love to be doing. I don't mind doing the updates though. The updates are fun too. So Luddy, thank you for the $5, my friend. I will try to get in contact with Zach. I've had many good conversations with the fella about Scream. So would love to talk with him sometime about who killed who in Scream 7. Could be a lot of fun. Juliana Smiler, what's up? How's it going? Happy, very belated birthday. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate you. Hi, Jake. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, Juliana. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a fun Monday. Nothing too crazy with working or anything at home. Hope you guys are vibing. It's been a long time since I've said hello to the Smiler clan, so welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you a whole bunch. And thank you for the 5. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Thanks for being here. Hope you all are doing well. Have I ever been in a movie? I've been I've been in some like little movies here on YouTube. I can't say too much, but I don't know. Maybe I'll be in more. What I will say is I'm in. What am I in? So obviously Red Right Hand on this page, which was a lot of fun. Very fun to make. I'm also in, if you guys know, Zomleader Studios, my buddy Sean runs that page. I was in one of their movies called Casadastrophobia. It is a movie about aliens that abduct people and their stories. It's like how they go about living after being abducted, how it ruins a certain character's life. I play a soldier in that film, and I hate to be full of myself, but I kind of have one of the coolest scenes in that whole movie. I get my face ripped off. It's fucking awesome. So give that a watch. It's all on this page. If you go on my front page, you'll notice there's a little tab that says movies I'm in. I'm in these movies. Those are the 2 movies listed currently. But I do have other projects in the works. I will say that. So you will see more movies with Jake, hopefully in the future. Be very cool. Be very cool to do that. Ty Lee is saying kind of like Infinity Pool meets Wrong Turn 2021. Oh, I don't know. Ooh, what are we talking about here? The Strangers trailer was very meh. I wish they didn't do a remake. The Prey at Night sequel is great. I love Prey at Night. Prey at Night's a lot of fun, dude. So here's the thing, Gorg. Here's where I'm on the fence with right now. Because when I watched the trailer, my thoughts exactly. I'm like, this looks like a remake of the original, but stylistic and losing the scariness of the original film. But then we have director Renny Harlin coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, this isn't a remake. This is something new, something brand new in the universe. It's not going to be the same old, same old. I'm like, are you sure, though? That trailer had a lot of moments that were exactly one-to-one with that original film. I don't know what's going on there. So, very odd. Very, very odd in my opinion. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to judge it, I guess, is where I'm at, Gorg. I don't know what to say about it quite yet. So, we'll just have to see. Juliana Smiler's throwing $1 in there with a super sticker, by the way. I love it. It's a cat. It's a black cat. Love me some cats. Sophia wanted to send you a cat sticker. Thank you, Sophia. I love cat stickers. Those are my favorite stickers. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone in the Smiler clan. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight on this beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful day, wasn't it? Oh, God, gorgeous day outside. I got to go outside for once, too. I'm usually just trapped in my little cubicle here, but I got to go outside. It was fun. What do you hate if the Strangers were like Infinity Pool meets Wrong Turn? I'm curious what you mean by that, I guess is my point. So like Infinity Pool, movie that takes place on this like vacation island, and Wrong Turn, which is more about like deep South hillbillies killing people. So I guess that's where I'm struggling to find the mixture there. What's mixing here? I'm not 100% sure there. Marley Kai 2000 is saying, hey Jake, speaking of aliens, have you heard of the story project Grudge Report? It's one of the most terrifying alien abduction stories. I have not. So I was not, I'm going to be totally honest, with Casa d'Astrophobia, I was not part of the creative side of that. I was asked by Sean to just be soldier number 2. And then I have a funny little, I was the only one willing to get covered in blood, I guess. I was like, I'll get covered in blood. Hell yeah. I love doing that. So I was not really on the creative side, wasn't doing all the research and all that fun stuff. I was just an actor for that one. But I'll have to look into this. I don't know too much about real life alien abduction stories. I do, there's a few YouTubers I've watched that kind of talk about this stuff. What's the guy? I sometimes watch the Y-Files, which is like a guy who talks about like conspiracy theories. I'm not really like watching this stuff all the time, but every now and then I'm like, okay, that was interesting. That was cool. Cool little story there. But I love alien abduction stories. They're scary. The Fourth Kind. The Fourth Kind is a good movie. It's all about real life alien abductions. Crazy stuff. Jack Bates is saying, I am quite lucky growing up with parents who love horror. I mean, after all, I was named after Jack Torrance there. You got the last name, too, of a horror icon as well, so there you go. But it's always very fun watching these classics with my non-horror fan friends. Jack, I feel that. I recently had a buddy. So I used to do game nights. When the pandemic ended, I wanted to get back together with a lot of friends and a lot of people I hadn't seen. So we started doing this game night. And I remember talking to my buddy saying, you have to watch Hereditary. It is so good. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever. I think it's so scary. They finally watched it just a couple of days ago. And dude's been messaging me saying that was the worst film I've ever seen in my life. I hated it. Like, I just was not a fan at all. He's like, you totally overhyped it. And I'm like, dog, I did not. I'm telling you, you watched it wrong. No, I'm kidding, of course. But, a fella in question is not the biggest horror fan, though. And I think that was kind of their biggest thing. They were like, I just wasn't, I didn't like how scary the ending got, kind of thing. So I get that. Trust me, I get that. I've watched horror films with a few people and they were just like, I just don't like that. And I'm like, but it's so funny. I'm like, people getting ripped up to shreds is hilarious. I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's fake. It's not real. For those who are like, oh, this guy's crazy. Well, I'm a little crazy, but it's okay. Madison loves Phoenix Forgotten, one of her favorite found footage flicks. Madison showed me another one of her favorite found footage flicks recently called Amber Alert, and that fucking rocked. Like, I'm not gonna lie, one of the most underrated found footage flicks I've ever seen in my life. If you guys have not seen this, Amber Alert is awesome. That was terrifying. Whew. It is definitely a slow burn. I will tell you that right now. It is a movie that builds up to like just a single scene. It is a very simple story, but it is done so well. I love sweet, simple, to the point found footage flicks. I think those are some of the best. And Amber Alert is on that list. It spares you with its very short runtime too. I think it's I don't know, it's just really well done. It's got a really, like, I mean, I was on the edge of my seat during the entire third act. I was like, fuck no, let's go. Come on, man. We got to get past this scary shit. So Phoenix Forgotten, also very good too. Another one where the ending is terrifying. Very good, very creepy ending there. Jack is saying my girlfriend isn't really into horror, but she really liked Alice, Sweet Alice, which is kind of an underrated gem in my opinion. Love that movie. I love that movie too. I remember, I can't remember if I made this video or not, but I shot it. So I can't remember if I posted it or not. But I did this video, top 10 horror films that where it's a female killer, and Alice, Sweet Alice was on that list. I love that movie. Very underrated slasher. That's one that doesn't get talked about a whole lot too, and I think it's terrifying. It's got some really crazy moments to it. Sorry, I'm cursed is saying, just came back to the chat to say that Phoenix Forgotten is my favorite found footage ever. We got a lot of love for that one. Love it. Phoenix Forgotten rocks. That was one that I totally missed. Madison showed it to me recently. It's produced by Ridley Scott. It is an alien horror movie. Kind of like, it's more about like alien abduction and all that. It's scary. It's got some really fucked up moments, especially in the third act. So that's another one where it kind of doesn't really pick up until the third act, but when it gets there, it's there. You know, there's some creepy shit going on. Excuse me, everybody. Need a little bit of water. But I do love me a good found footage that's usually a slow burn. I think those are some of my favorites, where it kind of just like constantly amps up into chaos, fueled with anxiety. Love those. Those are some of my favorites. A lot of good stuff there. Josh Carpenter, what's up, dog? How's it going? Are you John's son, perchance? Be pretty cool. Do you think Neil should make a comeback in Scream 7? Isn't he dead? Isn't he confirmed dead at this point? In my shoddy memory, I believe the character is dead. Who would I like to see back in Scream 7 though? I mean, like, I'd like to see, I think Kirby would be cool. Cool to have Kirby again. I think she's great. She's a Kevin Williamson created character. We have Kevin directing, so that'd be cool if she came back. I definitely think Patrick Dempsey's coming back for sure, which is that's gonna be a big one in my opinion too. Having Patrick back will be very cool to see what he's been doing all these years since the third film. That's not confirmed, of course. I do want to make that clear. Like, literally the only cast member as of talking right now is Sidney Prescott, Nev Campbell. It's the only one confirmed back. But I do believe that if there's a 99.99% chance that Patrick Dempsey will be in the film, that Gale Weathers, Courtney Cox will be back for sure. I think it would be kind of weird if they didn't have those, at least Courtney Cox back. Considering that we know Sydney's family is Patrick Dempsey, that's her husband. It'd be kind of strange to do it without Patrick Dempsey. I would almost go so far as to say they couldn't do the film without him at this point. It would almost be like revisionist to not have put him in the film, considering what we know about the film, what it's going to focus on. They got to do it. They got to do that. But I really want to see, I kind of want to see them be like our new focal characters. Like, if in the past, in the first 4 movies, it was Dewey, Gale, and Sydney. Now let's have it be Patrick Dempsey, Courtney Cox, Nev Campbell. That would be cool. So would love to see that for Scream 7, that those to be the focal 3 characters. Also I do feel like Sydney's kids should be a little more of a, like, kind of a focal point. I've said this a couple times now, but I do feel like Sydney's like Sydney should be focused on protecting her kids. Like that should be the focal point of Scream 7. No longer about Sydney trying to survive. Like she'll throw herself in front of a knife if it means protecting her kids. That should be the MO for the character, I think now. Because if we do the same thing again, where it's Sydney Prescott just, oh God, I got to get over my trauma. We've done that in 4 movies now, dog. Let's do something else. Let's move this along. Let's move this story along. Do something else. It worries me with having everybody back from like those. Not everybody. Obviously, we don't have Wes Craven. Rest in peace. With having everybody back, I do worry we're going to tread on familiar ground, like too familiar of grounds. And, I don't know. I think some people would be happy with the Scream film that's just exactly Scream 3 or Scream 2 again. But I want something new. You know what I mean? If you're going to give me Scream 7, make it the 7th film. Make it the next chapter. Don't make it just something else we've already seen. I just feel like that would be a waste of my time. Even if it does end up being fun, I'd just be like, story, we just did a little loop. We did a little loop-de-loop, did the same thing over and over again. So I really think, too, with all the drama and bad press around Scream 7, a big place that they can improve upon is having a good script. I do have a lot of faith in the writing. That's a big thing that I'm like, okay, I think that's going to be good. I think Neve Campbell's, of course, going to give an amazing performance as Sydney Prescott. Those two things I'm very confident in. It's more so like I just hope that Kevin Williamson isn't directing because nobody else wanted to do it. That is something I'm very worried about because I don't know, man. I think Kevin Williamson's going to do a good job. I have no issue with that. But it's like, could they have found somebody who's a little more experienced as a director, or did they have too much trouble with that? Did they ask a couple of people and they dropped out? Because that kind of seems to be the situation with Christopher Landon, especially. That scares me. That scares me right now. So I'm just hoping that they found a way to make this film special and not just, we need to make one more movie. That would scare me. Does Jake have legs or does he float? I float. I do not have any legs. I don't have a bottom half. But I won't reveal that. That would be no fun. What else do we got going on? Noah Atkinson is with us. What's up, Noah? How's it going? David Dasmalchian and Mia Goth should play the Ghostface killers for Scream 7, which they'll be part of the Ghostface cult and should end with a sort of cliffhanger. Okay, let's break this down. So David Dasmalchian, Mia Goth. So Mia Goth doesn't usually go for like the bigger mainstream movies. She's typically not about those. I don't think she would be against it. I actually think it would be pretty cool if she was in a Scream movie. That'd be sweet. David Dasmalchian, I could totally see him being in a Scream film though. He does indies. He does more like mainstream movies than he does even indie flicks. I would be very, very interested in seeing him in a Scream film. He would do a great job. He'd be an excellent red herring if nothing else too. I mean, an excellent Ghostface for sure, but he's got like a devilish vibe to him. I don't know how else to explain it, but when he's like, it's so many of his performances, he's played the creepy character so well. Beyond Late Night with the Devil, which I know a lot of people know him for now, but I mean, he's also in Prisoners, The Dark Knight, both basically the same character, super creepy, fucking weird characters that I love. So, what else do we got going on? Ooh, what's up? Ooh, how's it going? Hey, what if T3 is him, but everyone dies, and T4 is him running from the police? What? I hope T3's good. Marley Kai is saying, guys, if Jake reaches 30K, he should go to Area 51 for a day and do a live. I'm going to need more than 30K, dog. I could get like unalived if I were to go there. Get me to 100K and I'll consider it. That would be awesome. That'd be very cool. I'm trying to hit 30K before the end of the year, seemingly very possible. A goal that I feel like I can absolutely get to before the end of the year. With how the channel's been going recently. Things have been good. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing for all that have. Appreciate it a whole bunch. Would love to get to 30K. I said recently I'd love to get that silver play button. That would be really cool. Don't get me wrong. I think the biggest, I don't know. I'm just kind of, I am thinking about doing other channels though and starting up like video essay kind of content and all that. So that's kind of been like a big focal point in the back of my brain lately. Ty Lee is saying, how close are you to a Great Lake and have you ever been? So I live in Cleveland, Ohio, so I'm right by Lake Erie. I think I've been to all the Great Lakes, I believe. Yeah, I think I have. I'm pretty sure. I gotta fact check this. How many Jesus, I'm 25 years old and I don't know this. How many Great Lakes are there? There are 5. I have been to all of them. Yes. Yeah, I have definitely been to all of these. So I've been to all of them on completely separate occasions. Because I was in I've been to Lake Erie 1,000 times. Been to Lake Michigan, Lake Huron. Yeah. Different road trips and all that basically. But yes, I have been to all of them. You're obsessed and terrified of the Great Lakes. I don't get in the water, fun fact. Like I recently went to a beach in Ohio, which believe it or not, there are. Believe it or not, there are. Those exist. They're gross. Like I'm gonna be honest, the Great Lakes are pretty nasty. I don't want to go in them. But I have been around them. I got in the water when I was like a kid, you know, but like nowadays, no way. I know buddies who have found like needles and shit in there. Ooh, no way. I don't even take my shoes off when I'm at the beach. Like nowadays, I'm just like, nope, not doing that. Jake getting a custom play button, that would be awesome. I suggest a ghostface play button. I mean, you know, that's kind of how I got my start on here, talking about Scream 5 and all that. It's kind of when the page starting to get a little bit of attention. So I mean, that would be fitting. There you go. I am hoping to break into some more horror franchises though. That'd be kind of cool. Start talking about more of those. Marley wants Jake to get the Thinged, and that's very unhinged yet hilarious. I haven't heard a lot. If I went to Area 51, I might. You never know. I haven't heard a lot about it since 2019. It was so huge back then on YouTube in the mid 2010s. The last thing I remember about Area 51 was like all the YouTubers going there. Like they were like, they can't stop all of us. They were all going to try to get in there. That is so funny to me. That was a very funny meme. 10 out of 10. Big fan of that. I love the video of the reporter who was like commenting on it or whatever, and some guy like anime runs in the background. Like just great video. A lot of great stuff came out of that. It's very funny. Loved it. Jake is right. I live by Lake Erie myself. It's kind of gross. Don't get in it, but enjoy it. You know, enjoy the view. But especially like, so I have a lot of friends that are like right on the lake. They live up there, kind of like that around that area, and there is a nuclear power plant up that I think totally dumps into Lake Erie. I don't know. You know, I'm not an expert on all that stuff, but I'm just like, I especially don't want to get in that water. That freaks me out. I've driven by that place so many times, like this nuclear power plant up by the lake, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think I should go up there. Brobotic is talking about this shadow killer, apparently. It's about the cast getting killed because they bullied the killer's best friend, and the final girl was the main killer's ex-best friend who became friends with the killed cast. There's a lot of friends and kills there, my friend. That's what I'm picking up from this. A lot going on there. But very cool. Very cool nonetheless. Ty Lee is saying, I bet the storms get nasty being that close to an ocean, basically. I heard they freeze over in the winter. They do. Okay, wait. Actually, hot take. I have gotten in the lake recently. I forgot about this. I jumped in the lake when it was frozen in the middle of winter on a dare. Like I was dared to do it. Like go jump in the lake when it's freezing cold. I did do that. I completely forgot about that. Wow. I do some weird shit and I completely forget about it. I did that when it was freezing cold. Everything just sucked back up inside of me. You know what I'm talking about if you're a dude and you've gotten cold before. But holy shit. Yeah, no, it is terrifying in the wintertime up north in Cleveland. If you've ever been in a bad snowstorm up by the lake there, like, you know what I'm talking about? It is terrifying. Holy shit. You're terrified of heights, so Fall was the only movie I had to pause for 5 minutes before continuing it, despite it being kind of cheesy. Height stuff always got me so anxious. I'm the same way. If I look over the fucking whatever edifice of a building, I'm terrified. Shit's horrifying shit. I love it. I have yet to see that movie though. I heard that some kind of sequel was being made for it, but I don't know too much about it. CM Chunk, you are correct about this. The lake caught on fire once. All of us in Ohio know not to get in it. Yes, this is a thing that Ohioans joke about all the time. The lake caught on fire, and it's terrifying. So we Ohioans make fun of ourselves all the time. We have a very polluted lake. don't get in it. Just don't do it. Don't even get me started on Balloon Fest either. That's a whole other Ohio inside joke. That's not really a joke. It's just a terrible fucking thing that happened. That was supposed to be a good thing, and it was just horrible. The blizzard of 78. I don't know too much about that. Ooh, that's something I'm not aware of. That's probably bad too. There's a lot of like, Ohio is a horror movie consistently, for the record. If you guys don't know, there's just so much horror happening here. So I guess I'll loosely describe Balloon Fest. So in 1986, I can't remember why, but we like released, a million fucking balloons in Cleveland for some. It was like some kind of it was some event or something like that. I can't remember. And the balloons all ended up blowing into the lake and like completely taking out a boat. Like I guess like 3 people drowned and shit. It was like this like catastrophe. And it like polluted the water. There was like fucking balloons on the lake. It was this whole thing. There was balloons going all over Northeast Ohio because there were so many of those motherfuckers just blowing around. It was this horrible tragedy that ended up happening. And it was just like, why did we think that was a good idea? Why did we do that? It was horrible. So it's a big joke in here. If you ever if you talk about releasing balloons in Cleveland, it's going to be a big a fast no. A big no, we're not doing that shit again. That's very dumb. It's horrible shit. Horrible. But the biggest joke is definitely the lake catching on fire. So don't swim in the waters of Cleveland. Just don't do it. Oh, shit. Okay, well, it's been a fun stream, ladies and gentlemen. But old Jake has to say goodbye and has to take a fucking nap. Because old Jake's got a lot going on tomorrow. I think I'm bringing the animation channel back this week. I'm not 100% sure, but there's been a lot of news. And I've been waiting for the right time to strike, the right time to do all this. And we have new episodes of Smiling Friends. We have some interesting announcements with like Family Guy, which I know some people don't give a fuck about anymore. Totally fair if you don't. But it seems like they're starting to go downhill. So it seems like the show's starting to wrap up. There's some early indications of that. So I'm going to do a big update video over on that second page, make it the animation channel yet again. I'm getting back to that, trying to make that all happen again. Like I said, trying to start some more YouTube channels, trying to make that happen. But it's been a lot. So probably gonna, yeah, Jack, yeah. There's an animation channel I did not know. So I used to run this animation channel back in, was it last year? I can't remember. It was 2023, whatever. I love adult animation. One of a big passion in life. I grew up on fucking Family Guy, Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's more recent, but I love like adult animation. I love that shit. It's great. So I was kind of covering that for a little while and I stopped doing it because I just had a video where just a lot of very ignorant people left me some nasty comments. And I just kind of was like, you know what? I don't really want to be a part of that community, but now I don't give a fuck. I'm getting back to it. I'm not letting YouTube comments stop me anymore. Fuck it. Here we go. We're running it back. We're making it happen. So the channel is currently called KillJoy Jake 2, but I'm going to rename it back to the old channel, which was like Movie Smoothie, but I also don't love that name either because it doesn't really work with adult animated shows. But we're getting back to that at some point. Maybe this week if I can get to it. There's not a whole lot of horror news, so I don't know if I'm making a video for tomorrow on this page or not. So I'm thinking, just do that instead. There you go. So go subscribe, KillJoy Jake 2. Give it a little, hit that little subscribe button over there. It'll be fun. So you'll probably see that tomorrow. I'll probably have some kind of horror update video on Wednesday again. Don't forget, we're going live on Wednesday to talk about The Strangers Pray at Night, and then on Friday we're talking all about The Strangers Chapter 1. So go see that movie Thursday night if you can, or Friday morning again if you can, and then join us for the stream this Friday to talk about the brand new movie. We're going to be talking about it live, spoilers and all. So see the movie and come, or you might not want to show up if you're unable to make the movie, but you can always watch the stream on replay. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I will see you guys again on Wednesday, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.